It's January 2024, sounds weird to say, and today I want to run through what's happening in the Perth property market. Now, if this is your first time here, my name's Jeremy and I'm your friend in the Perth property business. And a few people have been asking in the comment section to say, hey, Jeremy, when's the next market update coming? And I must apologize. It's been a minute. Work's been crazy. Last year was an insane year for myself and my team. And I think for anyone that's involved in real estate in general, whether you be an agent, a broker, inspectors, if you're trying to buy a house or sell a house, it's just really intense at the moment. So we had a crazy finish to last year. I think our last selling week of December, we ended up selling 5 properties in 4 days. In that time, we met 470 buyers and worked with all of them over that week, or probably a week and a half. We wrote 56 offers and sold all 5 of those properties in 4 days and achieved prices that we didn't expect on all of them, like amazing prices. So the end of last year was absolutely nuts. People are asking me if it was winding down for Christmas. It certainly wasn't. We're just lucky that everything went to plan and we managed to sell everything before Christmas kicked in. So myself and my team could actually have some time out over the break. And again, apologies. Unfortunately, YouTube got shoved to the side for that period of time because obviously I had to prioritize my clients in that period. And over the break, honestly, just wanted to be a human for a little bit and spend some time, quality time with family, because it's been an insane couple of years, pretty much since COVID. It's been insane. But guys, the Perth property market is still going extremely strong. Anywhere you read is probably going to say the same thing. But I want to give you a bit of perspective of what it's like on the ground as an agent at the moment, and just to kind of let you know what's happening. So whether you're in Perth and you're trying to buy or trying to sell, or whether you're over east and you're thinking of jumping into the market over here, at least you know what's happening on the ground. And anything that I don't cover today, just jump in the comments. I'm happy to come back to you guys and give you some information, or you can contact me directly by my personal phone number or email address as well. So guys, the mood at the moment is that buyers, especially home buyers in WA, are still extremely desperate to get into property. My first day back at work today, and my phone was going off the hook with people just ringing me saying, Jeremy, I'm still around. Have you got a property coming? What's going on? Can you help me? So I was just already spent half a day coaching buyers, trying to help them kind of go through the process and find properties. And obviously we've got sellers which have been holding off from the Christmas period looking to come to market as well. So yeah, really busy already, and I think the year is going to be set up to be another crazy year. So if you're thinking 2024 is the year that's going to crash, I beg to differ. Maybe near the end of the year we see some things level out, but to be honest, I think the next 6 months is going to be insane, and there's going to be even more growth. Even when the December stats come out, you know, based on our own sales, I think we're going to see a medium price jump. Personally, that's my prediction. Right now, the average sale price in Perth is 590,000 still. But looking at some of the results that are coming through at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if that rises in the next 3 to 6 months, and fairly considerably. But time will tell. So to jump into some market statistics, this is where it gets a little bit crazy, because if you've been following me last year, you know that Perth's been sitting just below the 5,000 mark, around 4,900, 4,800 we've been averaging, including houses, units, and land. This week, 3,633 properties are for sale in the Perth metro area. That consists of about 1,800 houses, 1,000 units, and 800 blocks of land. So when you look at actually the dwellings that people can buy and move into, we've only got 2,800 properties available, which is insane. Again, if you've been consuming any of my content, whether it used to be my live streams or my Instagram feed, or some of my YouTube videos or shorts or reels, you know that my thoughts on it is that Perth runs between 11 to 13,000 properties in the Perth metro area in a neutral market with maybe 1% growth. We're at 3,633. Insanely low. And you might be asking, well, Jeremy, we had around 4,800, 4,700 before the Christmas break. What happened? Put simply, we had people still buying over the break, probably more than normal. Like last week, we had 434 sales in the Perth metro area, whereas we're averaging about 900 per week normally, excluding the holidays. So if you take that week, the week prior, and the week prior to that, well, that stock levels got diminished. And obviously sellers weren't bringing their properties to market because they didn't want to bring it to market in the middle of Christmas and probably lose out on 50% of the buyers which are out there, which could lead to more competition and a better price for them. So we've seen a deficit in stock because of the break, but still a strong amount of buyers soaking up that small amount of stock that was there. So whilst 3,633 is insanely low, it's the lowest I've ever seen it in my 15 years in this industry, and it's insane. I do think we're going to see, probably 2,000 properties come to market in the next couple of weeks. There's going to be a lot of people just flooding their properties onto the market to start the new year. So we should hopefully see those numbers round back up around the 5,000 mark. My only concern is that, going back to the mood and the desperation with buyers at the moment, desperate to get into the market, is that a lot of that stock coming on is going to get soaked up really, really quick. So I'm personally interested to see whether we do level back out at 5,000 or whether we kind of sit around 4,000 and see where it goes. Let me know what your thoughts are if you think we are going to stabilize back to the 5,000. I can't really say stabilize because that's still an insanely low number, but back to where we were for the majority of last year, or if you all think we're going to see new levels of hurt in 2024. So the median house price, as I mentioned, was $590,000, which has been pretty consistent last year. But again, just given my team's performance in the last quarter and the results we got for our clients, once that data starts to come through, I'd expect that personally to start ticking over closer to 600 or just above. But time will tell. The rental market is still insane, with only 1,826 properties available this week. Interestingly enough, that was the exact same amount of properties available for rent this time last year, 1,826. And I'm not exaggerating or rounding up or down. That's the exact same number. So that's a bit spinny, irrelevant, but spinny. And, 4 weeks ago, we had 1,971. But again, the amount of rentals that are available is insanely low. I think it's a 0.7% vacancy rate or something like that. It's just not enough around. And the average rental amount is $600 per week. So that's why we're seeing a lot of people trying to get out of the rental trap and buy into the market. But obviously, there's not a lot in the market either. So they're paying a lot for rent and you're paying a lot to buy. So it's a really, really tough scenario, especially for people being forced out of rentals trying to buy, because they're having to go into strong competition to buy as well. And you might be thinking, well, Jeremy, what about new builds? Even after all the slowdown, have we got more builds coming, on now and being released to the public and people completing their homes? Whilst we do have quite a few happening, over the last 3 years, there's been an average of 14,000 properties or new builds, be released. So if we look at the 3 years, that's about 42,000 properties that have, been released over the last 3 years. The problem is that the population growth has seen a need for 60,000 new households in that time. So when we look at that, we're already down 18,000 properties just from the build replenishment scenario, if that's how you would say it. So building, we're just not keeping up. Immigration, from the year to June, we saw 73,000 people come into WA. Now, if you average that out at 2.5 people per household, that works out to be about 30,000 more homes that we need in that 1 year, which again, we've got 3,633 properties available. You do the math, we've got 10% of what's needed for the immigration alone, not including everything else. So when we look at it, our stock level, we just have a massive supply issue in Perth. Our stock levels are super low when it comes to what's available for listing, and that is an all-time low, I believe. Rental amounts are still consistent. Stock levels are still consistently low. Immigration's still really high, and building, the amount that we're able to get through and build is just low as well. So, guys, when we're looking at 2024 as a new market, it still feels weird to say that out loud. To be honest, 2024, I'm going to say 2023, I'm sure, in some of these videos and reels moving forward and when I'm working, because I don't adjust to New Year's very well. And also, if you're wondering what I'm doing in here, this is my nerdy little man cave that I have. You might have noticed I've been filming in some different scenarios. I've been trying to find somewhere that works, because right now it's, nearly 10 o'clock. I'm going to get up early tomorrow. Nearly 10 o'clock and my family's asleep, and this is the only place that I can film that I'm not going to wake them up. And obviously the office is, I can't bother driving to the office. So I'm going to try filming from here. Let me know what your thoughts are. Color seems cool, but if you like this format, cool. If you want me to film somewhere else, cool. If you don't really care, that's okay as well. Just let me know in the comments below. But moving on, looking at what some of the drivers are, because I think this is really important. Everyone talks about numbers. I talk about numbers a lot, and like numbers are really important because they give us a snapshot of where we are right now and the reality and why things are the way that they are. But what are the drivers causing Perth to be in this scenario? Now, obviously, everyone knows what's happening with COVID and all of that, but my opinion on the drivers is A, low supply. That's number one, first and foremost. I know low supply is a result of other factors, but that is the reality. We just have low supply. There's not enough builds. We've discussed that. A lot of tenants are trying to escape the rental trap because they just can't afford their rent, or they're being forced out of their rentals by, say, new investors and things like that that are looking for that higher rental amount, and they're trying to buy in and absorbing some of that stock as well. Low rental stock obviously is part of that problem. First home buyers are still really strong. Talking to first home buyers every single day. So it's not like they've stopped buying because the market's crazy. A lot of them need to buy. Again, they could be tenants, they could be moving out of home with mum and dad. A lot of parents going guarantor and supporting their kids to go for the higher loan amounts because, let's be honest, a lot of people can't afford, what they're going in at. So they're getting support from their parents. But in saying that, we are still the most affordable state in Australia compared to everywhere else. And to compound that, we still have really strong employment opportunities here. So it's not like you're moving to a country town where there's no work and all that kind of stuff. Like, you're moving to a city which is highly sought after, has lots of job opportunities, and, compared to the rest of Australia, has really affordable property. And the other thing as well is when we look at what West Australians use out of their income towards their household, I think it's like 30% of their income goes towards housing. I believe by memory, the East Coast, certain cities, Melbourne, Sydney, they might be, don't quote me, closer to kind of 60%, 70%, or somewhere around there. If someone's over east and you know the stats, let me know in the comment below. I'd like to be proven wrong, or know that I was maybe right and had a good memory. But that just shows that even though a lot of West Australians are struggling, there's still a lot of people here that can afford to go more. We just have to sacrifice our lifestyle compared to a lot of the people that they do over east. And I'm not a fan of things moving in that direction. I quite like the relaxed lifestyle over here. And it feels like the stress levels in WA are, when you just look at general lifestyle and living, is a little bit slower, a little bit more chilled. Everyone's a bit more relaxed. But when I speak to a lot of my clients in Melbourne and Sydney, they say that over there is just insane. Everyone's going 100 miles an hour. Everyone's got credit card debt, that kind of stuff. Again, that's only a handful of clients that I'm speaking to over there. If you're over east, again, let me know in the comments below. And I think everyone else will be interested to know as well. What's the mood like where you live? Am I on the money there, or have I just been given the wrong information? I'd be keen to know. And say what you will about COVID and how the government handled it over here and what happened. I think it's just a given now that Perth is seen as a little bit of a safe haven, and that we're isolated in a good way, and that it is still one of the safest cities in the world. Decent education and amazing beaches and lifestyle overall. So we've got a lot of things going for us, and compound that with just low supply and the lack of stock coming to market and the demand here, it just seems like there's going to be more growth. Now, a lot of people are forecasting, the start of the end. They're saying that, the first rate drop is going to be the thing that starts the cycle and heads towards a recession and all those kind of things. And whilst at some stage, every cycle ends, so, we're going up. At another point, we're going to go down. I don't know if it's as imminent as people think it is. I think, we might see stock levels start to rise at the end of this year, and then 2025 we'll hopefully see them get bit by bit over a long period of time, slowly and steady, head towards more that level of that 11 to 13,000, and then maybe 2026 we see ourselves well and truly in the neutral market, and then as we tip over, the decline might come thick and fast. But that's just my guess. I don't know. All I know that right now is that the market is crazy, and if you're trying to get in, I feel for you. And like I said in one of my previous videos, a lot of agents are still being assholes to people and not looking after people. So if you are an agent listening to this and you want to take advice from a guy sitting in his little man cave office, we have one of the worst reputations in any professional industry, and we all know this. And a lot of agents are looking at the current market, knowing that they can sell a property fairly easy, even though, we should be working our hardest for our sellers and trying to strategize and have a process on how to maximize their sale prices. And if you're just flipping properties and you don't know how to do that, well, call me and I'll talk you through it. But so many buyers that I'm talking to, so many are getting seriously burnt by agents, like getting spoken down to, treated like second-class citizens, you name it. Tenants, like, I'm getting the complaints daily, and it's making my job really freaking easy. Like, my team and I, we had a little meeting today, and we're saying that we generally were getting compliments from buyers going, you guys have been really great to work with and really accommodating and really patient with us. And it's just a breath of fresh air. And I'm going, well, we're just doing what we've always done and looked after people. And if the contrast is that big at the moment, I think we're letting the public down. Like, across the board, people's experience with real estate agents right now is negative. And if you're going, well, Jeremy, I've got too many people to speak to. My team and I sold 5 properties in 4 days in the second last week of December, and we spoke to 470 buyers in that period. And I spoke to all of them. And yes, it took a long time and it was hard, but do what you have to do. Service people, look after them. If you don't know how to do that, maybe you've not been trained on how to do it properly, or maybe you're just not putting the work in. But anyway, I don't mean to virtue signal and make myself sound better, because I'm still learning, and this is a constant journey to improve our services for our clients. But I think right now is a massive, massive opportunity for agents to show that they're not the typical real estate agents that people expect them to be. Because when times like this are hard and people need help, there's a really great opportunity for us to step up and help the public and guide them and be the professionals that we're supposed to be and start to change our industry. But instead, most people go the easy route and burn a turn. So if you're listening to this, you're an agent, sorry, didn't mean to come at you with that. It's just a thought that's going through my head. And I think we can all pitch in and do a little bit better to start to change our industry, even if it's just in WA. One transaction at a time. Anyway, moving on. Guys, if you have any other questions about the Perth property market, this has just been a short video off the cuff. I only decided to do it like an hour ago. So if you want to know something specific about the Perth property market, if you want me to cover off on any topics in 2024, my plan is to come to you with more relevant content that's going to be informative for you, and whether it be anything from renovations or selling tactics or marketing or different processes, whatever you want to know, put it down in the comments below. I'll make note and I'll try to come back to you guys with some good information. But guys, my name is Jeremy Shirazi and I'm your friend in the Perth property business, and we'll catch up with you next time. Peace.